Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Killer Off-Road Hobbies. We're going to be comparing these three buggies today. The Thunder Tiger BushMaster, the Arrma Typhon 6S, and the Hobby King Rattler. Before we get into this, I'm going to start by saying thank you guys so much. As it stands right now, I'm at 231 subscribers. My channel has over doubled in subscribers in the last 2.5 months. I am so excited, you guys. I'm so pumped. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I know it's not like thousands and thousands of subscribers, but dude, you guys, thank you so much. I can't thank you guys enough. It's just, this is blowing me away. I'm so happy about this. So let's get into this. Alright, so the thing, starting with the BushMaster, this thing comes for about $430 stock. It's got a 4S capable ESC. I think it's 100 amps. And it's a solid buggy. It comes with a stupid sound box, whatever. This thing comes for, I'm not sure what they go for right now, but when I bought this, these were $500. 6S capable. It's got the BXL, brushless kit in it. So, I mean, 6S, $500. This thing, whether you get the ready to run or the almost ready to run, which is what I got, the almost ready to run, because I bought a couple things from them, I'm like a gold member, so I got this almost ready to run for $130 to my door. Now, all of these are four-wheel drive 8-scale buggies. Now, I'm just going to go over a couple of select things that I'd like to talk about that I think makes a good buggy, and then at the end of it, I'm going to tell you which one is my overall favorite in order from first to third, because these are, all three of these are good buggies, and I'm not taking any shots at any of the companies or anything. This is just my personal view of the pros and cons that I like or dislike or I think is a little bit better about any one of these three buggies. So let's go with handling first. Which one do I think handles the best? Well, I think the Hobby King Rattler handles the best. Partially because it's less powerful than the other two, and partially because I think it definitely comes with awesome tires. These like pin tires are amazing. It's got a really good turning radius. It does have a funky drive system in it that I think works really well. It doesn't have a center diff or a slipper clutch. It's just basically the motor turns a gear, like a spur gear, that turns the front and rear diffs. I mean, it's just that simple. But this thing does handle excellent. It's very lightweight, which probably contributes to that. I just think out of all three of these, this thing handles the best. Now, the second best is going to go to the BushMaster. The BushMaster, surprisingly, being the biggest and the clunkiest looking out of the three, definitely handles very, very excellent. Especially, the train I drive on, these tires work excellent. These are the stock tires. This thing turns on a dime. I'd say out of all three of these, this has probably the smallest turn radius. I mean, this thing just turns around on a dime. No problem at all. Handles slightly worse than the Rattler, but that's probably the added power it has. And coming in third is going to be the Typhon. Not saying that it handles poorly at all, just saying that out of these three, I think it's first, second, third. Now let's go to jumpability. Jumpability is going to go to the Arrma Typhon. The Arrma Typhon, unless you mess up, like driver error with the trigger in the air, or you go off the jump funky, this thing is going to fly straight, it's going to fly nice, and it's going to fly far in most cases. Now, second place is going to go to the Hobby King Rattler. Partially being probably because you're not going to get this thing to fly as far as either one of these, but it does tend to fly pretty straight. Every now and then it'll tend to kind of nose down on you, but it does fly really nice. It lands nice. It's all around a decent flying buggy. Now coming in third, and I'll tell you why, is going to be the BushMaster. It could be because it's got, like this cage on it or whatever, but the farther you tend to jump this thing, the more likely the chances are it's going to roll to either the right or the left. Because it does tend to go off nice and straight, but, as you keep it as it flies in the air longer and longer, it tends to roll to one side or the other. So that's why this thing's going to come in third. Now, power. Stock, this thing takes the cake on power. But if you want to spend an extra $70, keep in mind this thing's $430, so if you spend $70 to put an MT4G3 ESC in here that is 6S capable, this thing has by far the most power and is the fastest. And when I mean by far more power, I mean by far more power. This thing takes the cake in the power department, for sure, 100%. Coming in second, not a strong second either, but coming in second is going to be the Armored Typhon, followed very far behind by the Hobby King Rattler. Not to say this thing isn't powerful, but you're talking about 3S versus 6S here, and this thing's just in a crazy land of its own. This thing has insane power. I do recommend, if your friend has one, or if you ever buy a BushMaster, put it on 6S, dude. It is insane. By far the craziest, most powerful RC that I've driven thus far, and I have a 5th scale motor in my Creighton. Now, I'd say let's go with durability. Now, this is where one of these three is going to have a chink in the armor big time, and we'll get into that when we get to it. Durability is by far going to go, once again, to the BushMaster. BushMaster, I've had this truck for at least a year and a half. I have done insane things with this. I have just literally hucked it off the biggest jumps I could find, hoping for the best. A lot of times getting the worst. Like I said, it tends to roll when it's in the air for a long time. But this thing has taken it and asked for more. This thing is insanely durable. The only thing I've ever broken on this truck to date is one rear shock. And I mean, I was an absolute idiot bashing it to do that. I mean, this thing is just in a league of its own tough. I would go as far as to say this thing is tougher than the Creighton, which is saying a lot for me because the Creighton is one of my absolute top most durable, recommended to everybody. But this thing is insanely tough. Now coming in second is going to be the Hobby King Rattler. You guys might say, whoa, what are you talking about? You got an Armored Typhon on the table. What are you talking about, the Hobby King Rattler? Well, the Hobby King Rattler is really, really tough. It is a really tough buggy. It took several bad landings to break the part that I broke, and I wanted to show you guys this. So these are 15 spare parts right here. From shock towers to A-arms to a spur gear to turning components to knuckles. I mean, this is almost everything to replace anything in this buggy. 15 spare parts right here, plus the 2 I put in there, which would make 17, and I literally paid $25 for all of it. Awesome, 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 cheap, cheap parts, is really durable. Now, the chink in this thing's armor, which is what I wanted to get into, is the fact that if it hits the wing hard enough, instead of breaking the wing mount, it tends to break the rear diff. I know I haven't gotten it on film, but the last 2 times I've taken this thing out, just playing around, having a good time, I've ended up landing on the rear wing. The first one, it nose down, I couldn't power out of it, it hit the nose, flopped over the back, broke the rear diff case. So I bought a whole new diff, a whole new diff case with the diff and everything, installed it, took it out. I was hitting the jump with kind of a weird lip that was flipping the back. I kept having to nail the trigger to bring the back down. So I thought, why not? This is Killer Off-Road Hobbies, let's try a front flip, right? Well, that turned out to be a bad idea because it hit the wing and boom, broke the rear diff case. So, I mean, the fact that that breaks the rear diff case is just kind of irritating to me, because it should just break the wing off. I'd be a lot more happy replacing the wing mounts than the diff case. It also broke the shock cap on the shock right here, which is why I haven't done this video until now. I was waiting to get that shock fixed, but it's pretty decent as it is. Now, which one do I think is the best bang for your buck? Best bang for your buck is going to go to the BushMaster. Insane power, insane durability, and if you want to upgrade it to 6S, which gives it the bang for its buck, because this thing is not, if we're going to go bang for a buck out of stock, I would choose this. But money-wise, if you're willing to invest the $70 to make these two even at $500 for the purchase, this thing is definitely the best bang for your buck. Insanely more power than this thing, way more durable, and it's just all in all a great buggy, and it handles better. Now, coming in second, I know you guys, trust me, I love Armor 2, but I'm going to go with the Rattler on this. 130 bucks. 130 bucks. You could buy 3 of these and parts and still be less than this. It's going to have to go to the Hobby King Rattler, and I'm not, trust me, I bought this myself. They don't give me any promos. I'm not being paid or anything to say this, but I'm giving it to the Rattler. Really tough, really good handling buggy. Yes, it doesn't have the 6S power of this guy, but all in all, best value for your dollar, I think, is here over this. Not to say this isn't a great buggy, because it is. It's an absolute awesome buggy. I love driving this thing. It's a blast. It's fun. It's durable. It handles well. This is bang for your buck, though. I'm going to go with the Hobby King Rattler on this one. Now, which one do I like the most out of these 3? Well, sorry about that. I'm going to go with the BushMaster. This thing is an absolute animal, people. On 6S, this thing is an absolute beast. I can't even emphasize it enough. You have to drive one of these. If you love RC and you love just raw power at the flick of your finger, you have to drive one of these on 6S, people. I am telling you, it is insane. Insane. Now, my second favorite, even though I have what I would consider kind of bashed on it a little bit during this comparison, is going to be the Typhon. This thing flies great. It's a great buggy. I love the look of it. Out of these 3, I think it looks the best for sure. But I do really like this. I have huge respect for Arma, except for the Nero. But love this. And this, awesome, awesome buggy. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this comparison right here. Like, subscribe, thumbs up if you like this video, thumbs down if you didn't, leave your comments. Like I said, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys. This is Killer Off-Road Hobbies, Gary. Peace out, guys.